everybody, I was talking to my brother about this. You know how everybody thinks the place they live in has like the most, what's the word that I use? Not turmoil, but like the most crazy weather, the most
Uh-huh.
like sunny, like in one day you can go through all the seasons. Like everyone's convinced that's the place they live. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I truly believe Joburg is the worst of it. It's it's insane.
Is it just because it's like so many extremes, like really hot temperatures, a lot of rain, like that kind of back and
Yeah,
forth?
yeah, and maybe because right now it's so there it's spring, here it's fall, so it's like getting colder. So it's been raining a lot, but it would literally like thunderstorm, lightning, rain for 45 minutes, and then the sun, the cloud comes out like nothing has happened, and then it just dries up, and then it'll rain later that night. It's very crazy,
Oh,
and it'll even hail. Like experiencing hail for the first time was when we moved here, and I was like,
oh
oh,
wow. Okay. Good to know.
yeah.
Huh?
Are you watching this? Are you watching this? Yeah. Are you watching this? You need to get with it. Are you watching this? We on a TV shit. Are you watching this? You don't wanna miss. Are you watching this? Stop canceling our shit.
Right. Okay, so I do have a question before
Mhm.
we like get into the episode.
Mhm.
I was thinking about it on the drive over here. Would you say that you are more of an Ava or more of a Deborah?
I think I'm more of an Ava. What
Okay.
about you?
I think so too. And I was thinking too, I was like, my haircut is helping me kind of like channel my inner Ava.
Yeah, hella, actually. Very
Yeah.
similar.
But yeah, I was thinking about that. Because there's a lot of TV shows I'm always, like Sex in the City, like who are you? Are you Charlotte,
Yeah.
Carrie? So
Can I ask what makes you think you're an Ava?
uh just that I'm not a Deborah. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
no.
know. Would
Yeah.
like to think that I'm funny and smart, but she's a little kind of a hot mess, and I feel that way sometimes too. So
Deborah is. Or oh wait, Ava is.
Ava, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get that. Okay.
And I kind of wish I was a little bit more of a Kayla because
I think
I'm
we
really enjoying her
all
character.
wish. Yes, me too. She is, you think she's one way, but she's actually, yeah, I love what they've done with her. She's
Yeah.
amazing.
All right. Well, then let's get into it. We're gonna start our hacks recap. We're on season 4. We have not done any of the other seasons, so don't be lost. We're just jumping in here, and we're gonna
Yes.
start with episode 1, which was titled "Brave" or "Big Brave Girl."
Yes.
It was directed by, you think it's Lucia or Lucia?
I think Lucia.
Yeah,
That's
I
my
think
guess.
Lucia
Yeah.
uh, and Anelio. She is Paul W. Downs' wife, and
Ah,
she also wrote this episode, and so did Paul W. Downs and Jen Statsky. Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's
Is she
how
one
you
of the
say it.
creators? His wife? No, I thought it was just Paul and Jen.
Um, I don't, Yeah, I think she's just one of the writers and directors. I don't think she's a
Okay.
creator. Could be
Okay.
wrong on that one. I do have that Lucia and Paul are married, both work on Hacks and worked on Broad City as writers. She has also directed and was an executive producer of the Comedy Central series Aquafina and Nora from Queens, as well as Netflix Babysitter Club.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Did you ever
Interesting.
watch Aquafina is Nora from Queens?
I did not, just because I'm not the biggest fan of Aquafina, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah. Did you?
Yeah, I think I watched maybe half the season. It was funny,
Okay.
but I wasn't that into it.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned on yesterday's recording, Friday's episode that's coming out, Jen
Mhm.
Statsky was a writer for Late Night with Jimmy Fallon from 2011 to 2013, still during
Yeah.
the good years. And she was also a writer and producer for Broad City, The Good Place, and Hacks.
Yes. She's got a great resume.
Yes. And I just feel like she's getting bigger and bigger
Yeah.
roles and shows, and yeah, involved with a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to read the synopsis. It says, furious with Ava for forcing her way into the head writer position, Deborah stops at nothing to get her removed from the late night. As Ava attempts to beat her boss at her own game, Marcus prepares for a difficult conversation with Deborah.
Yes.
What did you have any strong opinions about this episode or overall
I think
feeling?
no, I think it just, picks up right where we left off in last season. So it's kind of just going through the motions of those revelations and feelings about those revelations from the season finale of season 3. And yeah, I guess Deborah did annoy me, but it's okay. I understand why.
Yeah. There. I've kind of, like we were doing with Severance, went through the episode, so I have kind of just a overall description of what was going on, and then I had some funny comments or questions that just came to my head that are maybe slightly related or not related, but
Okay.
I have in here.
Okay.
So yeah, as you said, we pick up right where we left off at the end of season 3, where Ava pulled a Deborah and did what she needed to do to secure her position as a head writer for Deborah's late night show.
Exactly.
So she walks into her office to relish in the moment until Deborah comes in to bully her again. And so my first question is, on a scale to 1 to 10, how toxic would you rate this relationship between Ava and Deborah?
Very toxic. I wrote down hurt people hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Deborah, like how Ava reacted, was very Deborah-esque. Like she's just taken a page out of her book. And I think, it's a classic. Deborah is heartless. Well, Deborah is jaded from the industry, and she is therefore like treats Ava because of that kind of damage she has, and now Ava is also reacting and acting that way because she is also hurt and jaded, and hurt people hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you think there is any healthy aspect of their relationship?
What makes me so sad, and I don't know about you, but like what makes me so sad is I genuinely think they love each other. It's just the industry aspect of it all that is fucking up their relationship. What do you think?
Same. I think that Deborah really pushes Ava, and I think if Ava didn't have somebody like Deborah that's holding her to a really high standard, she probably wouldn't reach for these milestones. Not that she's
Yeah.
not capable, but she helps kind of push her.
Yeah.
So I think that's good, but she also pushes her in an unhealthy way often.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of like how they say like a really good artist, whatever, has to go through some sort of abuse to be that good and whatever. A little bit of that.
Yeah. All right. So as Deborah's leaving the studio, Jimmy stops her on her way out, and he expresses to her how happy he is that she made Ava the head writer. But then she calls Ava a cunt, and Jimmy finds out how Ava really got the job, which is blackmail.
Yes.
How do you feel about... Oh, no. You go.
Were you going to ask how do you feel about the word cunt?
Yes.
Okay, great, because that's what I want to talk about.
Perfect.
So in Australia, like cunt is such a normal word. It's not. I realized it was such a bad word when we moved to America, and I said it so like cavalier, like whatever. And I was like, "What is the big deal?" Cunt is probably like idiot. You know, it's not. It's bad, but it's not terrible. So also like later on, I think it was in this episode. Is it in this episode, or was it something else I watched that they do mention like the Brits something?
It's this episode because I think I even wrote it down. Kayla says something about Ava not beating the cunt allegations, and Jimmy says, "I told you about how I feel about the word if we're not in London."
Yes, yeah. So I also love that the fact that they included that bit, and it just showed like the writers do know. They know what they're talking about. Like I'm fucking with the writers' room in that aspect. Yeah, and I enjoyed them putting in on in the script. Loved it.
Yeah, I personally, I like using that word. I think there's a lot of humor to it, and because I listen to this Australian podcast, they say it all the time, and
Yes.
so it kind of become a little bit more of my vernacular. I don't, just like any word, it's the intent, right? So I think
Yes.
if you're using it, there's that whole 30 Rock episode where Let's or somebody calls her that, and that is offensive.
Yeah.
But if you call yourself that, if you're just talking about like being dumb, love it.
Exactly. And also, like, as you said, it depends on who you're saying. You got to know your audience. If
Yes.
somebody's touchy with the word, then don't just use it so lightly because they
Mm-hmm.
will not take it that way. But
Yeah.
I try to make the people around me know that it is not that serious. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So then we cut to Deborah's at home. She's received all these flowers congratulating her on the late night. And
Mhm.
Marcus is trying to decide when to tell Deborah he's leaving because he's like, maybe she'll be in a good mood. But Deborah's in the kitchen doing some demo, getting out all that aggression.
Yeah.
So he decides not to do it then. We then have Ava, and she arrives for her first full day on the job. And when she goes to pull through the gate, she accidentally puts the car in reverse. And I wrote down, like, that was so funny. Every time I watched it, I laughed. And I just don't know how people come up with those little things to just throw into
Yes.
the script just to
Agreed.
zhuzh it up.
Yeah, agreed. Like it's such a it's not like slapstick humor, but it's such a minor detail like getting a laugh. But yeah, it's so clever and so silly. It's just stupid, and we've seen it done so many times, but it's so great.
Yeah, and we, I think you were tweeting this and about how you feel like you have one good script in you. And again, I have some ideas. We'll talk.
Yeah,
But it's just when I think about it, I'm like, I think I could like come up with some creative ideas, but I don't think that I would be able to add in those tiny little details like that. I don't
little
know.
bits. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think that's like a. This is why. And a lot of writers are complaining because have you heard or read the articles about like there's less and less people in writers' rooms and less writers' rooms now in TV shows, and also because of like the lesser episodes in
Mm-hmm.
seasons. I think I saw a stat where it's like from last year to this year, maybe from 2023 or maybe 2020 to this year, like there's 45% less writers in writers' rooms now, and that's significant.
45%.
Yeah,
Dang.
yeah, that's really significant. And sorry, I went off a tangent, but I truly believe those little moments happen because of a writer's room. I
Mm-hmm.
just don't think one singular. I think you'd be a genius. I think not everyone can accomplish that, basically, you
Mm-hmm.
know? Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Let's see. Oh, so yeah, once Ava arrives to work, one of her new bosses, Rob, confronts her about a package he received, and it's an envelope with her underwear. Ava tries to convince him that it was Deborah who did it, and that it was a joke, but he is not buying it and moves up the HR meeting. And in this scene, I just love the bit where Ava goes, "Well, the holes in the underwear would indicate that it's mine."
yeah. I also love the bit where she says, well, what's it? Like, she's basically like, you're gay. Like, and he's like, how do you, like, why are you assuming that? That was really, really funny.
Yeah, he's like, "Don't assume my sexuality." She's like, "There's a photo of you marrying a man on your desk."
Yeah. And what's even funnier is Ava's gay. So it's so funny. I'm already loving this way more than Severance.
It's definitely full of laughs.
Yeah.
After the HR meeting, which seemed like a nightmare, we finally get a scene with Kayla,
Yeah.
and when it's a cut to her in the beginning. She's like talking about her brother, I think, having an orgasm, and then she starts talking about how hot Brian from Family Guy
Family
is.
Guys. Yeah. They're like, he's a dog, is he?
Oh, it was
But
good.
I get it because this is okay. This is what a podcast is about. If Brian was not a dog, I can see how someone not find him attractive. But I think like it's the deep voice. Oh, I might ask you to cut this off. but let's commit. I can see how someone can find Brian. I think I don't know. I love that they included that in the script. That's great.
Well, I mean, everybody knows that you have your very first sexual awakening to a Disney movie, okay?
True.
And so it's not unlike that. Not so much Brian, but
Right.
cartoons they add intentionally like
Yes.
sex appeal to these characters, okay? We all know it. We feel
Yes.
weird and pervy for liking it, but there's a whole kink category for it, so.
Yes, agreed. Like I think there was a whole discourse on some social media site about like Simba, no, not Simba, Mufasa being like, you know what I mean, hot as well and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
he's a lion, but it's the energy, it's the
Yeah. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So then everyone's gathering for Deborah's press release or like press conference to talk about the show, and that does not go over well because her funny quips to the press quickly turn into hurtful jabs.
Yes. Can we acknowledge CC Homo and then her spelling it out?
Yes.
I'm very grateful that they've introduced this new character. And I hope we see more of her.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, she was, I mean, in a good bit of this episode.
Yeah.
And I think she will, because I guess she's Winnie's assistant or something like that.
I thought she was head of publicity. That's what I wrote down.
Okay. Yeah. After the press conference, Ava's being bratty with Jimmy about the current situation. And this is when Ava leaves. Kayla says, well, she isn't beating the cunt allegations, which that just also had me rolling.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ava goes back to work and she finds out that someone, aka Deborah, has reported her for taking drugs while at work. And so she has to take a drug test. And the officer gives her the option of water or Monster Energy. And she chooses the Monster Energy because she hates water. And I really understand that. I really get it.
See, that's such an American thing because I don't think I've ever drank a Monster Energy drink.
Well, I haven't either, but I don't like water. Like,
what?
I know. And like, I just got myself another water bottle to help, but I do not crave water.
Okay.
Drake loves water. Like it's all he wants. He just wants a big glass of water at all times. And we'll go out to eat and he'll get 3 refills of water. And I've taken like 3 sips of my water. I'm like, and that's like enough. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Is it okay? Does your water have to be cold? Like, do you like it a certain way for you to consume it? Because some people just love cold. Like, it has to be a perfect crisp coldness, or like room temperature warm, or they can't drink it.
No, I'm not really particular in that way. It's just I don't know if my body just doesn't require as much water. I think that's part of it.
You're human. It definitely does.
But I think Drake, like, I don't know. My pee is not that yellow.
I was just gonna ask. Has anyone else seen your pee to confirm? This is what I need to know.
I've seen the charts. I know what it's supposed to look like. It's supposed to be clear to very pale yellow. And actually, clear is you need to have more electrolytes if it's clear.
Right.
Yeah. No, it needs to be. Yeah, I've checked.
Okay.
I know.
Okay. So you're saying your pee is not very yellow?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I have to be careful because if I don't drink enough water, I can get dehydrated really easily. But
yeah. So have you figured out what your beef is with what you just don't like water?
Here's it. And it's not that I drink Diet Coke instead. It's not that I drink I just don't drink a lot of water or liquids in general. Okay. I mean, sometimes, and I drink coffee, but again, throughout the day, I'm just like not drinking anything.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Wow.
I can put down some martinis though, so.
So you're an alcoholic. Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, so after that, Marcus finally goes to Deborah and breaks the news, one about QVC and the conflict that it has with late night show. And so he's also leaving because he has to sell off QVC or the company to QVC, and then he's going to leave. And Deborah gets very mad, and she really lashes out at him, and she claims that he's not loyal to her and that everyone leaves whenever she finally gets everything.
Deborah was such a cunt this episode. I'm glad they actually put that word in there because that's the perfect way to describe, yeah, her this episode. I hated it. How did you feel watching that scene?
I was so frustrated because I I get why she did it as her character, you know, because
Yes,
she does take loyalty. That's very important to her.
yes,
But Marcus has been nothing but loyal and a good employee, and to
yeah,
lash out like that was so unnecessary
yeah.
and
It
not.
was insane.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I like that they included it though. I think this Hacks does such a good job because it very much is a comedy, but
yeah.
they balance it out with like 10 to 15% of very emotional
Yes.
scenes.
Scenes. Yeah, exactly. Like very awkwardly emotional scenes of like real
Mm-hmm.
human emotion, ugly emotion, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that I actually really love in comedy because
Mm-hmm.
it's great. Um but yeah, I wrote that in this scene, just because you have been harmed doesn't mean you can't harm others. Like in regards to Deborah, like how I feel like she feels like, I mean, she does say it too, like this keeps happening to me, like nobody gives a shit about me, whatever. But in her lashing out, she's also like hurting
Mm-hmm.
um him. What's his name again? Her sister.
Marcus.
Marcus, yeah. He's a sweet angel baby.
I know. Yeah, really. The second time I watched the series, I rewatched it before this season. I realized how much I liked Marcus and his character. And
Yeah.
he's such a good balance to the rest of the show.
Yeah, agreed.
Let's see. In another attempt to ruin Ava's career, Deborah has set up a lunch meeting with Ava, Rob, and team and at a seafood place, even though Ava has recently discovered that she is allergic to shrimp. That scene was a little random to me, though. I didn't quite get it, but I
I
mean,
think it was just
I
like a hazing, like a not the hate, like Deborah just keeps fucking with her.
it just seemed very random. I don't
Yeah,
it confused me a little bit on that end,
yeah,
but when Ava finds out about the meeting, she tries to get across the studio lot by hopping on a backlot tram tour. Backlot
yes,
tour tram, which we're gonna go do. We'll have to talk
yes,
logistics.
yes.
But on I what was so funny is when I mentioned it on Tuesday, I was listening to an old episode of a podcast I like, and they talked about how they just went on a WB backlot tour and they got to see
Hey.
Abbott Elementary, like where they filmed that. Yeah.
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 Oh, that would be so cool. I'm actually like I'm geeked out. Like I'm very excited for this. We need to
Yes, I
make it
am
happen. We
too.
are gonna make it happen.
No, we will. We'll just got to figure out some dates.
Yeah.
That night, everyone gathers at Bob's for a large fancy party. Bob's the head of the network who
Who
Deborah
Deb?
slept with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kayla, again, is a shining star, bringing in pure gold with her discussion of the Lenny Kravitz penis video, despite Jimmy specifically telling her not to bring it up, which she was like, no, they brought it up. He's like, did they? She's like, oh, yeah, it might have been me.
Oh, I
Just
love her
so
so
good.
much. Yeah.
Then, when Bob is able to get Deborah alone, he lightly threatens her not to tell anyone about their tryst at the golf tournament.
Yeah.
And Deborah returns to the party to find Ava talking to Bob's wife, and the two create a scene in the middle of the party that Jimmy has to break up.
Yeah.
And after seeing Ava and Deborah together, Winnie decides that to turn things around from the disastrous press conference earlier that day, that they will turn Deborah's New York Times Magazine piece into a piece about both of them, Deborah and Ava. And Deborah does not like this.
Mm-mm.
And so then we get a little scene of them shooting the photos for the piece in the
Yeah.
magazine. And Ava and Deborah are kind of like whispering things to each other. And the one that really stuck out with me is Deborah tells Ava that she broke her heart, and Ava says, "You broke mine first." And I was like, ugh, ugh.
Yes.
Because they both feel that way.
Yes. And I was like, come on, writers. Like that was so good. Like in just two lines, you should feel everything. And they delivered that so well because you saw all like their emotions because they really do
Mm-hmm.
believe that it's like the chicken and the egg, kind of like which one came first, but they both hurt each other. But really, Deborah started the shit.
Yeah, yeah, from the
Yeah.
very beginning.
Yeah, and she needs to heal.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
Yeah. So overall, I mean, I think I liked the episode. I think we jumped into the season really well, and I'm excited to see how the whole season plays out. And I am a little curious because since it is the last season, where it's going to go, like where it's going to end, but I guess
Yeah.
we'll find out when we get there.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I keep forgetting it's the last season, but it's okay. It can't go on forever. So I'm okay with it. But yeah, I want to see where it ends. I'm just repeating everything you said.
Did you have any other notes, comments about this episode?
No, it was a well written season. What's it called opener. It's just great comedy. Yeah, it was fantastic. Really, no notes.
I think that this is like it's just such a well written show.
Yeah,
It's just so well written. It's just a little over the top, which makes it a little extra funny, but it is still very grounded in realness.
Yes, and comedy.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I loved that, and again, excited to see where we go from here.
Me too. Are we just jumping into episode 2?
We can. I'm gonna have to stop recording and then start recording again, so it's like separate. So
Okay.
also, I'm going to change shirts between each because it makes it easier for editing. If I can see that,
Don't do that. Oh,
No.
okay.
Yeah, because then like when I look at the videos, I automatically know which one's which instead of it'll all be just 3 in a row that look exactly the same. So
yeah. Okay.
which I guess I'll just leave that part in because I'm still recording. Maybe I'll cut it out. But with that being said, all right. Well, we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Are you watching this? Are you watching this?